Good afternoon, I'm Mrs. Bolin and I am helping you prepare for your exam 1 test for college algebra. It says simplify the following expression and write your answers in standard form. So the first one right here, oops, let's see if we can try that again. There we go. And of course it's not going to want to take my nice equal sign. Okay, so we got it to take the equal sign. We'll see if we can continue on here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is combine like terms. You notice we have a 1 here and a 6. So we're going to combine that so that we end up with 6 plus 1, so that is 7. And then we have a 3i and a 2i. So all we're going to do is add the coefficients. So we'll add the 3 plus a 2 and we get plus 5i. And that is the answer for the first problem. So let's look at the second problem here. The second problem says that we have 7 minus 3i minus, you notice we have the minus right there, and then we have parentheses, 1 minus 2i. So this is essentially a negative 1 out front, so we're going to have to distribute that. So this will be rewritten as 7 minus 3i minus 1, and then we have a negative times a negative, so that gives me a plus 2i. Now we're going to combine like terms, and we have 7 minus 1, so that's going to give me 6. We have negative 3 and a positive 2, and that's going to give me a negative I. So that is my answer for part B, 6 minus I. We're going to go on to part C. Part C right here, we're going to treat it as if we just simply had two factors multiplied by each other, and we're going to do FOIL. Okay, so we have 1 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 2. Now the outer, or the outside, 1 times an I is going to give me plus I. 3i, going for the inner, which is the I here. Okay, so 3i times negative 2 is negative 6i. And then the L stands for last. So 3i times I is going to give me plus 3i squared. Now, let's combine like terms and do some substitution. So I have negative 2, and that's nothing else. Now I have a positive I minus 6i, so that's minus 5i. And right over here, we have plus 3. Remember that I squared is equal to negative 1. So this is going to be multiplied by negative 1. So now we'll combine like terms. So negative 1 times 3 gives me a negative 3. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5 minus 5i. And that is my answer for part C. My last one right here, it's D. Somehow or another I got an A. I don't know how the A got there, but it did, and so I just left it. Alrighty, so we'll come back over here. So what we need to remember is that our proper form for a fraction cannot have an imaginary number in the denominator. So to remove the imaginary number, we're going to have to multiply by the conjugate. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite the original problem, and now I'm going to multiply by 1 minus 2i, 1 plus 2i, the conjugate is going to be 1 minus 2i, and what I do to the bottom I must do to the top. So we're simply going to again use FOIL. Okay, so we're going to do the numerator first, so it's 4 times 1, which is 4. 4 times negative 2i is negative 8i. Negative I times 1 is negative I. And then negative I times negative 2i is a positive 2i squared. Okay, if my computer will continue to support what I know I'm supposed to be writing. Put a dot right there. Okay, FOIL the bottom. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times negative 2i, negative 2i. 2i times 1 plus 2i. And then positive 2i times negative 2i is negative 4i squared. Next up, we're going to combine like terms, and we will convert all the I squares to negative 1. Okay, so now this is going to be equal to, we're just going to copy down the 4. Negative 8i minus I is negative 9i plus 2 times negative 1, because that is what I squared equals, divided by 1, and then negative 2i plus 2i goes to 0, and then minus 4, and I squared is negative 1. Okay? So, combining like terms, we end up with 2 times negative 1 gives me a negative 2. 4 minus 2 gives me a positive 2, if I can write that down. And then minus 9i. Minus 9i. Then we have 1 minus a minus, so we end up with a plus 4. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So to put this in proper form of a plus bi, it's going to be 2/5 minus 9/5 I. And that is our final answer right there. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, send me an email. If you hear something in the background that sounds interesting, it's because I live on a farm and I have a turkey outside that got out of his coop, and my son is not home to put him up, and so he's outside, starting outside my window right now, making his tom turkey sounds. So anyway, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll be in touch with more videos coming up soon.